one of the biggest issues for us as women is the amount of decisions we have to make in the day, not even for us, for other people. And it can be stressful, which is also a drain. When you have a few go-tos that you can get to these time-saving health hacks that are super simple, don't require a lot of extra work, and make a difference and make your life easier. Ready? Hey there, I'm Bria, and welcome to the Period Whisperer podcast. If you're over 35 and ready for real answers about your hormones, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and stay with us. Hey there, sister. Welcome back to the Period Whisperer podcast. Today we are talking about time-saving health hacks. 6 of them, to be specific. Why? Because after working with thousands of women on their health over the last, I'm turning 45 this year, so almost 2 decades. I have learned that especially in midlife, women kind of fall into one of 2 camps. Either they are the resourceful woman, and you're a resourceful woman if you're the kind of woman who has tried all of the things, is constantly researching different ways of doing things, constantly looking at what other people are doing that has helped them be successful, implementing that, but maybe not implementing it long enough, or maybe putting into practice for a couple of weeks and not really seeing the results that you want. So kind of completely pivoting instead of tweaking, instead of looking at the analytics and doing it again. You're just really good at caring about your health, wanting to feel better. The effort is not there. You work really hard, but you're constantly looking outside of yourself at all of the resources, and you get sucked in by Instagram ads for different supplements. You get sucked in by ads about perimenopause, about hormones, about hacks like that. And I know this woman because I have been this woman. In fact, it is constant struggle to not be this woman, right? We are always inundated by so much content, and it's normal, I think, for us to be asking our friends about what's worked for them and then thinking it might exactly work for us. But the challenge is that you hit a point and you're like, oh, I don't know that this is working for me. Maybe I need to try another thing. And so you pivot instead of following through for long enough. Most things in our health take a good 12 weeks to really see if it's going to make a difference. Or you're the woman who falls into the abundant woman camp, I would call it. And you are the woman who will either stay up really late to do all of the things, all of your routines, get everything done, or wake up really early. I was that woman too. So I've been both of these women. If you're extremely type A, this might be both of you. The only thing not type A about me is that I don't need things to be perfect. I just need them to be done. But if you maybe you see yourself in both of these, but the abundant woman does all of the things. So you're trying all of these things, you're implementing all these things, and when you hear of another thing, because you're also resourceful and hardworking, you decide to also do that thing. And the challenge again here is that we're doing so many things, we're not stopping and taking a step back and thinking, did that even work? We're just looking for that answer. And I think both of these women, and I know in my own head, have felt like I just haven't found the right thing yet, right? I just haven't found the perfect thing. I must be missing something that someone else has. Or you're thinking, I'm just not working hard enough. I'm just not good enough, which is a real problem that I think a lot of us think. And I think the good news about being either of or a mix of these women is that they are not the whole solution. It's not because you're not doing enough. It's not because you don't have that one little answer. It's simply because you do have little time, right? Every woman I talk to right now has so much on her plate, myself included. And we have parents we're thinking about, we have children we're thinking about, we have, all the end of right now, it's sort of the end of the school year. We have summer plans to think about. We have all the wrapping up of the school year to think about. There's so much going on top of lifing. At any point in time in life, maybe your ice maker breaks, your air conditioner breaks, your car breaks, like all of these things in life that come up on top of the things you're trying to achieve in your career, on top of the relationship you're navigating with your partner, on top of your children's emotions and their experience in life and all the mom guilt and mom shame that we have as well. There is so much on top of the health that we're trying to progress in and our careers, right? If you're a stay-at-home parent, there's so much on your plate. If you are a working parent, there's so much on your plate there because listen, women, we have aspirations, right? You've got goals, you've got dreams, you have things you want to fill, and whether that's just to feel like you have purpose and achieve something and give back and make a difference in some way, or whether that's because you want to make a pile of money, which you have every right to want to make and live the life of your dreams. You don't have time to do all of the things you feel like you're supposed to do, whether you're the resourceful woman or the abundant woman. You don't need more time. You need better systems. So, because it is summer, because we're in this busy time, I know I'm extra busy. This is when I like to take my vacations. So, that always is such a welcome, wonderful break. And it usually means that I have 50% more work to do before I go on vacation and 50% more to do afterwards. So there's just a lot of navigating, a lot of organizing, a lot of planning. And the fact of the matter is that women are still carrying 80% of the emotional labor in a family. So you're thinking about it, organizing it, planning it more than likely your partner is. The one thing I want to say right now before I get into these hacks for you, because I wanted to give you 6 hacks that I use that really help my life go, much more smoothly. Anything that I can be efficient in that works is always my goal. But the one thing I want to say is if you have not run functional labs, this is what I do. I really encourage you to swipe up. There's a link under there or go to my website, briatheperiodwhisperer.com. Schedule a call. Click on the schedule a call button, go to work with me wherever you want to find it. Click below this episode. Book a free call with me. Let me help you understand whether you have a problem that requires functional lab work that would help you feel better. And frankly, most of us would feel great seeing the depth of what is happening inside. Every single client I work with has a unique situation inside. And in fact, I will say in these last 2 weeks alone, I have looked at 3 women's labs who have already had labs done elsewhere, but the explanation of their labs was just sent to them in an email or in a PDF. And my issue with that is that it doesn't give you a couple of key things. It doesn't help you deeply understand what each marker means for you, which is what helps women stay on track when we're so busy and when we are wondering it, when we have FOMO about other things, when we're wondering if another way is going to help us get there faster. Understanding the specific links in your lab to your situation is so critical. Like your story of how you got here to feeling the way you do, whether you're so exhausted and you can't get through your day, whether you have this stuck weight or you're gaining weight or you're inflamed or whether you can't sleep through the night. All of those things matter in your labs, but also matter in the lifestyle that got you there in the first place. And there's also a really specific order to feel better. I just did last week's podcast episode was all about like the order that we need to do before we detoxify. That is really critical in order for us to feel our best. And if you haven't gone that route, we can muck things up and make things worse for us, especially in perimenopause when we don't have that sex hormone buffer. Our sex hormones are a beautiful buffer between us and stress, and they help us navigate things a lot better. And so when that is bajiggity, right, when those are getting lower or getting wonky, maybe even before they should, then it gets harder and messier inside of us, and it doesn't have to be that way. So functional labs, all of your functional labs. One of the labs I looked at was only one, and we really need two or three to see the entire system because we need to know who started it. Like, where did the problem begin? Where's the biggest issue in order to really create a customized plan for you? Because we are all so different. What got us here, what our life has been like, what our life is like now, how much capacity we have to move forward is different woman to woman, which is why cookie cutter programs just do not work super well for us. So please swipe up, book that free call. I am not here to sell you hard. I hate those calls. They make me super uncomfortable. I'm here to help you understand whether this is a worthwhile investment for you, whether I feel like I can absolutely help you feel better or not. And my clients' results are pretty much guaranteed. I will work with you until we get those results. So book that call, take that time, even just to know what it looks like for you so you can save for it or you can plan for it in the busy life that you have. And if you are already on a good track, but maybe you are getting into peptides and they're not working so well for you, or you're testing out other things, I want you to stay tuned. I have something exciting, really exciting coming up. So make sure you're coming back to the episode, to the Period Whisperer podcast. If you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe down below, or you click follow on your iTunes or your Spotify or wherever you're listening to this on, so that you come back and see the episodes drop and help me get this really awesome high value offer that is going to make sure you have your foundations in place, that's going to give you the support that you need to feel your best, build the muscle that you want to build, get the results out of your workout, burn that fat, all of the good things, sleep well, have energy. So now that that's out of the way, let's get back to these time-saving health hacks that are super simple, don't require a lot of extra work, and make a difference and make your life easier. Here are your 6 hacks. Ready? So number 1, put minerals in all of your water. Here's the thing. You hear me talk about minerals all the time. You hear me talk about beam minerals. These are my most favorite, especially if you're in the US. We can't get these outside of the US. So if you're outside of the US, you want to be looking for humic and fulvic trace minerals, as well-rounded as you can get, as full spectrum as you can get. And if you ever have questions wherever you live on what the best option would be, please just email me, briatheperiodwhisperer@gmail.com, or just hit me up on Instagram. Let me answer that for you. Let me point you in a direction. Minerals are so critical for so many things in our body, right? We need minerals in order for our cells to pick up these tools. That's what minerals are, and do the job of converting our thyroid for a good metabolism and weight loss and body temperature issues and all the thing. We need it for detoxification in our body to clear out the junk and get it out. We need them for methylation. We need them for building our hormones. The basis of our hormones is cholesterol, amino acids, minerals. And anytime we are stressed, which is, hello, all of us, then we burn through them quicker, right? The body's working extra hard to use them. So the problem becomes that we don't have enough for the demand our body is under right now, because our soil is depleted, our water is polluted, so we filter it, so there's nothing left in it. So I love beam minerals, but get your minerals, your full spectrum trace minerals is what you're looking for. Put them in your first water of the day. If you're watching me on YouTube, like, have a big whatever this is. It's a Stanley Yeti, whatever you're drinking out of these days. It has, I think it's 32 ounces. Fill up that water, put your minerals in it, and then listen, every time your water gets halfway, fill it up again. There's still minerals in there from the last time. So then you're never having to, like, continuously add minerals if you don't want to. At least there's some minerals in there. Because here's the problem. If we are drinking water without minerals, that can actually deplete our minerals more. So if you are feeling dry, if you are feeling exhausted, if you have brain fog, if you are drinking all your water but peeing all of the time, not absorbing your water. That's what we need our minerals for, all of those things. So stop drinking water that doesn't actually hydrate you. Put your minerals in your water in the morning, in the very first glass that you fill up, and that should be first thing in the morning, because we're like little cucumbers. We're 60% water, and we've slept, whether it's well or not, you probably slept 6 to 8 hours, interrupted or not, and now we're dehydrated. So we need to rehydrate first thing in the morning. And then if you just put those minerals in and then refill that water every time it starts to get halfway, then there's always minerals in your water, and you don't have to carry your minerals with you everywhere. So Time saving hack number one, put minerals in all of your water. Time saving hack number two, front load your protein. I hear from a lot of women that it is difficult to get the amount of protein in that they need. We hear this number, 100 grams of protein. I will tell you, it is hard. I find it hard to get 100 grams of protein in a day. And I work from home and I work in this industry where I'm inundated by how to get my protein in. Breakfast can be one of the easiest ways for you to get your bulk amount of protein. So, like minimum 25 to 30 grams in at breakfast. This helps stabilize your blood sugar all day. So if you've become someone who's constantly snacky and picky and hungry, or you have major energy drops in the afternoon, or you are waking up sluggish or can't go to bed because you're like wired but tired at night, all blood sugar issues, right? If you're waking up in the middle of the night, can't get back to sleep, blood sugar issues. That's primarily where this stuff comes from. So if we make sure that your breakfast sets the tone for your hormones by getting in those 25 to 30 plus, and I've had clients do well on 40, even 50 grams of protein if you can find a way to get that in the morning. It will serve you all day long, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Look, I am a pescatarian. I was a vegetarian most of my life. I started eating fish again, almost 2 years ago now because I could tell I was struggling to get the amount of protein in that I needed. That was my decision for me. I know that's not everyone's decision, but if I ate more animal protein like chicken and steak, I would probably eat leftovers from dinner for breakfast. But a really simple way for me to get these 30 grams of protein in is like 2 fried eggs. I fry my 2 eggs in the morning, and then I get a Greek yogurt. A serving of Greek yogurt, which is about 3/4 of a cup, is usually around 17 grams of protein. I like the full fat kind because we also need fat in order for us to make these hormones. And I put some like berries in it typically. So now you're getting right between those two things, I get about 6 grams per egg. So there's 12 grams, 17 from my Greek yogurt. I mean, right away, that's 29 grams of protein just in my breakfast. It takes me like 5 minutes to make it. It probably should take me longer to eat it, but sometimes I'm in a rush. But I do eat it, I get it in, and it makes all the difference. One, for how full and satisfied I am between breakfast and lunch for 4 to 5 hours. And also that energy, steady energy in the afternoon. Between my minerals and my protein, I'm usually pretty good to go. So important there. Get that protein. If you can't do it at all your meals, get it in at your breakfast because it will serve you so well. If you're feeling really good and you're at a point where you're like, hey, I do want to play with fasting, and you're sleeping well, play with your fasting at night, not breaking your fast in the morning. We need fuel in the morning, and make sure you are having a little bit of something before a workout, no matter what. No fasted workouts for us in perimenopause. Okay. That was my second hack. Make sure you're front loading your protein. Get that protein in first thing. If you just nail that one, it's going to help your hormones better than anything else because it stabilizes that blood sugar. And that is our frontline defense to stabilizing our sex hormones, which we know are right now like walking on a suspension bridge. It's just a bit more rickety. Okay, number three, we have to balance our stress on purpose. You have some type of daily pouring out the stress activity. That could look like breath work. It could look like meditation. It could be your morning walk in the morning in the sunlight when you're alone. It could be singing in your car on the way to pick up your kids. It could be catching up with an old friend who makes you laugh. It could be actually getting out. It could be bagging out on the TV sometimes and watching some of your favorite shows, not those stressful ones. We don't need to jack up the cortisol. We need to pour out. Typically, it's something that gets us moving, singing, dancing, humming. These are the things that really stimulate our vagus nerve, which helps immensely with changing the channel in our body. When we are constantly in this fight or flight place, all of our hormone production, plus our digestion, our immune system, everything is taken the back seat. It's suppressed. And that over long periods of time really, really impacts our body's ability to use our stored fat, to have consistent energy, to have a red metabolism. I can actually see in your labs if your brain is telling your body, it's time to conserve. We are not burning stored fat. We can see markers for this in your labs. So when I see this for people, we know we have to do this little bit of work. So for me, I am always walking, first thing in the morning, and it's kind of how I start my day, how I wake up. I get my big glass of water. I love my AG1 greens. I put my minerals in there and I drink that while I walk my dog or if I walk alone as that sun is coming up. And sometimes I listen to something that makes me happy, or I catch up with my family back on the East Coast because I'm in the Pacific time zone, whatever it is for you. Again, that's another little mini hack. You can efficiency like habit stack your greens, your minerals, your hydration, your morning walk movement, and your stress management all in a 30-minute window. Okay. But we have to balance that stress on purpose. This is not optional. You are not a machine. As much as you are fierce, as much as I know you can handle so much, as much as I know you know how to push through, we have to stop putting on the blinders and get into the body and pour out that stress. So whatever's going to make you belly laugh, whatever's going to pour that out, schedule that massage, get the body work done, have an orgasm, whatever it is, something's got to be done and it's got to be done daily. I promise you, if you are not doing something daily, go and do that something 7 days in a row and tell me you don't feel better. I'm willing to bet that you do. Okay, hack number 4. Put cauliflower rice in your protein shake. A lot of us, and maybe you're not drinking protein shakes, but if you are, because we're all trying to get in a lot of protein, one of the best things you can do is blend it with frozen cauliflower rice. The After protein, what we hear most about in perimenopause is fiber, 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 fiber. And cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, these things are really helpful for detoxification specifically of our hormones. But it's hard to get them in all of the time, right? It's really hard to sit down and be eating all of that at different times of the day and prepping it. Frozen cauliflower rice is super affordable. A cup of it frozen in your smoothie, in your kids' smoothies, doesn't taste like anything, gives you a good boost of fiber, gives you those detoxification benefits. And hey, it froths up your smoothie so it tastes even more like an ice creamy, dreamy treat, which is what I love. I love my thick smoothies, like make it as thick as we can get it kind of thing. So add everything else that you're adding to it, but now add a cup of cauliflower rice. It is such a high bang for your buck, right? We're sneaking support in here for you. We're not overhauling your life. So cauliflower rice in your protein shake. You can do this. Give it a try. You're going to thank me later. Number 5. Use AI for meal planning. You do not need to pay for someone else to tell you what you should eat. You really don't anymore. Look, AI is not the best for everything. I will especially, like you can upload your labs into AI and it will give you a decent response, but I test this here and there just to see because I have a lot of clients who again get labs read and I think it's AI generated that they're getting the response on and it's not always accurate. In fact, some things are downright wrong. But when it comes to saying, hey, give me some ideas for dinner or make me a 7-day meal plan that hits 30 grams of protein per day, that is super simple, I can make in 5 minutes or less, that also includes 25 grams of fiber in the day. I don't like eating this, or this. I have to be able to adapt it for my kids. Throw that into AI and get AI to build you a meal plan. You might not eat all of those things, but you might find 1 or 2 things that are so easy for you to just put together and make, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, this is wonderful." And it happens in minutes, and it costs you absolutely nothing. I do it all the time for my own meal planning when I'm bored. You can even say, "Hey, here's what I have in my fridge. Make me a meal that has balanced macros for a woman who's this age with these issues, wanting to achieve these goals," and you will get great options. So it removes that decision fatigue for you, right? One of the biggest issues for us as women is the amount of decisions we have to make in the day, not even for us, for other people. We got to make so many decisions for other people all of the time. And that gets really exhausting. It's such a drain and it can be stressful, which is also a drain. So take that thinking out of it. It also helps you stay consistent, right? When you have a few go-tos that you can get to, when you have like 2 or 3 breakfasts so that you don't get sick of those, 2 or 3 lunches, 2 or 3 dinners, that can serve you for quite some time where you feel full and satisfied. You now streamline your grocery list and you're feeling like you're doing the right thing by your body, hitting this protein, hitting these fiber goals. You don't need to pay for meal plans. And I'm sure there are amazing ones out there that are better than AI, but if you are busy, if you buy meal plans and then never actually use them, use AI for it. But I will say, here's my little caveat on this. One of the most efficient, effective things that I do is before I go grocery shopping, I look at my kitchen, I think about my week, like who's going to be home for dinner? Are we going to be out for dinner? Are we going to be really busy running around for activities at that time? And I plan my dinners because I have a good breakfast and lunch that I like to fall back on pretty steadily. So I already know what I need for those things, but then I plan that. It takes me about 20 minutes. It might take you 5 minutes longer if you haven't done this before. I write it in my notes on my phone because then the next week I can go back to that and pull a couple ideas and then I make a fresh list. And then we're starting to build lists where all of a sudden you don't have to think anymore. We don't have to waste time on thinking and decision fatigue. We can actually say, okay, this is what we're going to have for dinners this week. And then when dinner rolls around, you just look at your list. This is what we're making. This is what we're eating. And then you don't have to think about it at 5 or 6 p.m. when you're exhausted, running around trying to make things happen. So use AI for some of the beautiful benefits it is there for you for. Okay, final tip number 6. Super efficient, kind of already talked about it. Might feel like a shameless plug, but listen, if you feel like a hot mess, get eyes on it. Get help. I have learned time and time again throughout my own health journey, my business journey, my parenting journey, my partner journey, all the things that I try to be exceptional at in my life and often fail at. Get help, right? We hire tutors, we hire therapists, we hire like coaches, we hire out so many things, experts to help with things. Your health is no different. In fact, I would argue that without your health, you can't do any of those other things anyway. So normalize asking for help for yourself. Get your lab work done. Remember that when we go to our doctor for our blood work, that is helping us know, do we have a disease or not? It is a physical problem, disease, not disease. That's what these ranges, medical ranges on our labs are meant for. Really important, but not telling us what's coming upstream. It doesn't tell us why we might feel tired, why our hormones might be out of whack, why we look normal but don't feel normal, why we can't sleep through the night, why we're having these heavy periods, why we can't lose weight, why we can't put on muscle. It doesn't tell us those things. It tells us diseased, not diseased, major deficiency, not major deficiency. That's all. Functional lab work like a Dutch test, like a GI map, like deeper functional blood work really helps us understand where the loss of function is in our body. How our gut is doing specific to us, specific to you. And that's how we get a roadmap that is the most efficient roadmap back for you. You don't need to be Googling these things. It is a big waste of time. We don't need to trust just another Instagram promise. Get your answers for you. And then you have the most time saving health hack ever because you are getting the blueprint, the instruction manual for your body. So let me recap these 6 hacks for you, nice and tight for you. Number 1, get your minerals, put them in your water at the first part of the day. Every time your water gets halfway, fill it up. You can use additional minerals, most people can, but you don't need to be like taking that extra step. Fill it up. Front load that protein so that you're regulating your blood sugar so your energy is steady all day and you can accomplish all that you want to accomplish and you're supporting your hormones. Balance your stress on purpose. Commit to one thing per day, even if it's just breathing before you eat, even if it's just having a quick orgasm, even if it's just singing in the car on the way to get your kids. But bigger things would be massages or body work or going for a girls' weekend or seeing a concert that you love or having a great date night. Whatever that is for you, you got to build it in every single day. Number 4, cauliflower rice in your protein shake. I promise you, you will not regret this, unless, of course, you have an issue with cauliflower. But if you don't have an issue with cauliflower, then cauliflower rice in your protein. It'll get your fiber, it'll give you the bulk that you need, it'll help you detox. It is going to make your smoothie taste even better than it does, and it's cheap and easy. Cheap and cheerful, as we call it. Use AI for your meal plans. Get your ideas there. 5 minutes and you'll have multiple ideas. Just feed it a little information about yourself, about what you like and don't like, about what goals you're trying to achieve. See what ideas it comes up with for you. And number 6, get your functional labs done and get them done with someone who is going to read them, even if it's not me. Make sure it's someone who is going to understand your background and medical history, understand your lifestyle now, understand how you eat, how you move, what your goals are, and how you're feeling, so that you can look at these labs and really understand and correlate. Oh my gosh, this is why I'm having mid-cycle bleeding. Oh my gosh, this is why I'm not pooping every day, or why I'm having bloating, or why I'm exhausted the moment I wake up, or why I can't sleep through the night, or why I have no energy, or my libido has disappeared. You get to see why and the how, not just the why. Whoever's reading your labs should be able to tell you why and how we're going to come back to it. And then they should be with you to make sure that happens. All right, sister. I hope this was a helpful 6-time saving health hacks that actually move the needle. Again, make sure if you are watching us on YouTube that you click subscribe so that you don't miss the upcoming episodes, more hacks to come, and a really great announcement coming up here that I think is going to be exactly what you need if you're not ready to dive into labs. And if you are listening on Spotify or iTunes, click follow, share this episode with someone who might need quick hacks. Reach out if I can help. Let's go out and be more in our lives and not just less on a scale. We'll catch you in the next episode.
If you're 35 plus and ready to stop guessing, start understanding your hormones, and feel your absolute best, hit subscribe. That's what we do here.